the next topic, and I love how they're bringing all this subject together in a way that we all can understand it. So Tom Sumner is the CEO of the Reward Collection, and he's going to join us on stage. Where is he? Tom, there you are. The stage is yours.
It's a very long intro, isn't it? I wish they would have sent me on after someone that was a little bit smaller, to be fair, or at least staggered the height to make it look not quite as short. It's quite different. So I'm Tom Sumner, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Reward Collection. Got a huge passion when it comes to helping retailers attract, retain and reward customers. We understand that consumer spending is more difficult than ever at the minute with cost of living crises all over the world and recessions being talked about. And there's no better time to help reward customers in new, innovative ways and forward-thinking ways. Hence why we partner with Vow, and we're the market leaders in the card linking and open banking space. My background, so I've been in the reward space now for just over 10 years. Originally started for a company called the Gourmet Society, which is one of the biggest discounted dining propositions in the UK. Helped them to build that business to 6,000 restaurants in the UK, including some pretty well-known restaurant chains. Merged the two companies together with a company called Tasteguard, which were the market leaders, and we sold that business to Bridgepoint in 2014 for 100 million. I then went on to found my own business called Table Now, which was heavily owned and backed by the largest radio business in Europe that owned Smooth Radio, Capital and Heart. And we built that business to 3,000 restaurants in 6 months, and that's very much mine and my team's skill set is onboarding market-leading content, market-leading retailers and plugging them into existing networks, loyalty providers and reward programs in the UK. Most recently I was the CEO of a PLC called Big Dish, which was listed on the London Stock Exchange. Again, we built that business to about 3,000 retailers, some pretty big national names as well as some smaller independent brands. And we built our business through COVID. COVID gave us quite a long time to think about where the future of loyalty we think lies. For me, it's very much in the card linking space, open banking space, and also Vow currency. After meeting Bish and talking for a long time about how we can re-evolutionise loyalty using the Vow ecosystem. One of the benefits of what we do is it's not just a kind of traditional marketing channel in a similar way to all the vouchers, promo codes, point-of-sale offers, where it's all geared towards online sales. We can also help independent, local brands to attract customers in a way that they've never had to before. And the benefit there is that we can create a 360-degree cycle for retailers, not just to see who's spending online, but also who's travelling into the store. So, for example, if a retailer sees that a customer's stopped shopping with them, it's not necessarily because they've just gone off buying shoes from Deichmann, for example, one of our retailers. They could have moved just down the road to a local store so they can see every single transaction that goes through online and in store. So we're now the UK largest provider of card-linked offers. We've just gone global, so the biggest markets being the USA and Europe. We've also got some big partnerships lined up in the rest of the world as well, which will unlock another 90 million customers. And what we do is help customers to earn cash back frictionlessly, and the key word there is friction. We don't like the kind of classic approach to having to spend hours researching and finding offers. We see a consumer being able to simply link their bank card, spend with one of our retailers and then earn cash back without needing to do anything at all. We currently work with over 800 retailers which span across 5,000 stores. This time in 12 months that will be more like 2,000 retailers spanning across 10,000 stores with a recent investment from Vow VC. And global expansion is very much on the horizon for us. In terms of reach, we reach over 100 million customers currently. That is by us connecting our retailers that we own the relationships with into existing reward programs. So we work effectively as a reward broker or as an aggregator, sat in the middle, connecting the retailers into the existing reward programs. And we let them go and do the last mile in terms of advertising those offers to the consumers and engage them to make as many transactions as possible. The way that we make money is we take a small success fee or a commission from every single transaction that goes through that 100 million customers with any of our participating retailers, and we're expecting that to be up to 200 million by the end of this year globally. One of the key things with what we do is it's about monopolization, and that's the reason why we built the business when we did, is there was a huge gap in the market when it came to card linking and open banking, and the technology has been great, it's been going for years, but without the offers and the retailers to actually run the platform, it all kind of falls over. So that's why we launched. We launched very early in terms of where card linking and open banking is, but the benefit there is that retailers have us to go to in terms of accessing 100 million customers, and we own pretty much most of the relationships with all the reward programs in the UK, and have most of the ones in the US already lined up or live. And also reward partners don't have many other places to turn to when it comes to retailer offers either. So we have over 80% of every single card linked offer in the UK, which is a huge increase on any of our close competitors, which means that every reward program comes to us when it comes to card linked offers, open banking offers or point of sale discounts. In terms of our team, so we've been going for quite a while now, although I look about 12 years old, we have been going for a little while. So we've been going for 25 years in total. That's basically running some of the largest reward programs globally. Myself, the sales director and the commercial director, have worked for some of the biggest reward programs, and we've onboarded probably close to 30,000 retailers over the years. So how card linking works, I'm not sure if anyone here has experienced a card linked offer before, or have kind of felt how frictionless it is, but generally how it works is the consumer downloads one of our reward apps or one of our partners' reward apps. They link their bank card at the point of sign up, so we can see exactly where that consumer is spending and transacting with our retailers. Whenever that consumer's card is tracked as spending with one of our retailers like Ocado, Deichmann, Europcar, Funky Pigeon, Card Factory, any of the retailers that we work with, we can track that, and then we pay the customer out a cashback or a commission. And the good thing with card linking is that you get that kind of feeling of instant gratification. As soon as you make a transaction and it's tracked, the customer gets a push notification to the phone to say, hey, you just earned X amount. So it's that kind of feeling of instant gratification when using one of our retailers. One of the key things when we built the network and the reward hub that we built is not just focusing on quantity of retailers, and I think that's one of the kind of downfalls that most companies in our industry do, is just try and get critical mass too quickly. Whereas one thing that I have understood over the 10 years that I've run reward programs is that it's more difficult to do it wrong from day one than it is to try and get it right from day one. For example, all of our offers, or 95% of our offers, are what we classify as always on, which means two things. One, the consumer can basically receive an offer there anytime, any day. And number two, it means that we can simply plug 95% of all our offers straight away into any reward program that we set live. So there's no going back to the retailer, re-engaging with them and reselling a brand new proposition. We can simply plug them into the whole network, which is one of the key things that we built from day one. Total 800 retailers, about 5,000 individual sites, 300 of those are national. With our background in terms of local retailers, we also work with hundreds of local independent restaurants and coffee shops and hair salons, which we see as being a huge growth area over the coming years, especially with our ecosystem and the ability for local restaurants and local retailers to burn vow when consumers spend with them at a fraction of the cost. And one of the other key things is depth of discount. One of the things that's been missing in the reward space is that the offers are generally quite low, whereas our average is 14% cashback, which again is a huge uplift from any of our other competitors. Here's a list of some of the retailers that we work with currently. I'm going to press the button. So we work with BT, Card Factory, Deichmann, H. Samuel, Europcar, Ernest Jones, Gusto, Titleist, Decathlon, with a huge gear towards brands that have physical bricks and mortar sites, because that's a huge gap in terms of retailers that can promote online, which is very well covered with the affiliate space and the gift card space, whereas offline is something that we're trying to pioneer and to create the ability for consumers to spend simply with a bank card when in one of our retail stores. In terms of reward publishers, so all the retailers that you see here, we plug them into a pretty big list of reward programs. There's a few missing off here as well. So we also work with the likes of Revolut, we work with MasterCard across all of their B2B clients. So any business that uses MasterCard, which includes NatWest, RBS, Lloyds and Virgin, all of their consumers can spend any of our business-to-business brands, like Canva, for example, Europcar, Ocado, and save cashback, which also works as an employee benefit to the employee of the company, but also as a cost-saving tool for the actual company. So there's a huge benefit there to them too. But here's a list of most of our consumer-facing reward programs, and this grows monthly. It's currently at about 100 million consumers total, and we expect that to be at around about 200 million by the end of this year. The reason why we partnered with Vow, so I met Bish probably a few years ago now, right? And we very much see this as a symbiotic relationship in that we benefit Vow with the ability that we have to onboard retailers at scale and onboard retailers in a very good way. But also we benefit from the Vow ecosystem as well in terms of giving us the ability to go and pitch a retailer and give them the option of saving 80% on what they're doing with every other reward mechanic that they're working with today. So it gives us a completely unstoppable force behind what we're doing, and it will create an uncompetable business in my eyes in terms of the retailers that we're already working with. So not only do we unlock the ability to sell a new proposition to the retailers, but it also gives them that ability to save a load of money when it comes to what they're already doing. So about 20%, as Paul mentioned before, as opposed to what they do now with the reward collection. So that's something that we're looking to unleash in the coming months with all the 800 retailers that we're working with. Vow VC, I think I've gone one slide forward. Vow VC and myself now own 70% of the company as well. So a huge backing from Vow VC and a huge tie-in, which gives us the reason to really drive home the message of Vow and to onboard as many retailers into the ecosystem, but also as many publishers. And the end game for us, and this is mine and Bish's vision collectively, is that the relationships that we have now with all of our reward programs will be so much more powerful when it's fed through the Vow ecosystem and through Enigmatic Smiles technology, because we can track and we can see every transaction that's coming through as opposed to us being in the background only being able to see so much of that story. So that's the end goal for us, is onboarding that 100 million consumers into the Vow ecosystem and our retailers alike. So this is how we see the earn and burn. Oh, go back. The earn and burn. So earn is what we do now very well. Onboarding a consumer and a retailer. Reward them with some form of cashback as a reward for spending with their linked bank card. The benefit of Vow is we can now remarket to that consumer that's spent with Deichmann, for example, and get them to go and re-spend that cashback that's been earned as Vow against the retailer, creating a full 360 loop. And creating a true marketing solution for a retailer, not just allowing customers to earn, but also to burn it back within that ecosystem too. So really excited to be partnering with Vow. Thank you everyone for joining. And I am the reward collection Vow to change the world.
Sumner. That was very impressive. Thank you very much.